Greetings, fellow Ambazonians, fellow televiewers. Una welcome for ACN. This one a communication for the Ambazonia Governing Council, the Ambazonia Defense Forces. Na me, the Deputy Defense Chief, Capo Daniel, I don come for una for can give una this information and when a public notification at the same time. I dey send out this message publicly for the Catholic Church for inside Bamenda and in particularly for St. Mary Soledad Health Center, where they for inside Bamenda for Alakuma. What forces them, two of them, where they be take part for Operation Hammer Blow, they be sustain injury them, and eventually they be find themselves for take shelter and for take medical help for St. Mary's Soledad Health Center for Bamenda. The Cameroon military, he enter for inside that hospital, he move them, carry them, go execute them. Without wait for more than 72 hours, the Catholic Church, St. Mary Health Center, they never put out any statement to account for what happened or to condemn what happened. So I don't come outside on behalf of the Ambazonia Defense Forces for the Ambazonia Governing Council for send out this warning for the Catholic Church and their operation there for inside Bamenda. They will be shut down. There will be consequences if they don't come out to account for what happened. So first, ladies and gentlemen, I will take una forgive una the sequence of events them way happen. Then I will send that message for the Catholic Church directly. As una know very well, on Sunday, starting for 5 a.m., the Ambazonia Defense Forces then launch an attack against the Cameroon barracks where they for Alakuma for inside Bamenda. The operation will be the biggest operation so far against a Cameroon military base. It was a raid. The soldiers that constituted the striker unit were commanders from various units that were deployed to carry out this operation. Amongst them, our overall commander in Menchum, Commander Tok and Do, was in the striker unit. He sustained injury. He be being moved into St. Mary Hospital. I go bring una video footages them for substantiate and for inform the public say he be for that hospital. This video footages it come from a video chat where he debrief the war council on his situation and his location. Una fit see na this na Commander Talk and Do that time wey dey for hospital for inside the St. Mary Health Center. When a patient, no matter whether na soldier or na Cameroon military or na Ambazonian fighter, once a patient he get inside hospital, that hospital he be in charge of a life. Now that hospital be so responsible for a life. Now why that way be forbidden by the Geneva Convention, even by our own traditional practice and customs of war, for no enter inside hospital, for carry out any raid, or for try to retrieve any suspected person, or let alone even an enemy combatant or enemy force. The church, the hospitals, the mosque, religious sites are all sacrosanct and are out of touch in this war. So Commander Talk and Do will be wounded for inside the operation for inside Bamenda. He be sustained injury. They give you first aid treatment. The situation will get worse. So he will get he will be hit for his chest by a grenade. If you look on for your right hand side, you will see the wound will be covered for this image. But he will be wounded for his chest. The other commander, I think I'll send the video here as well. The other commander, Commander Brandy, we be been a part of the striker force, na a commander, a mission commander for Bamenda, one of the mission commander there for Bamenda Brigade. He too be involved for the attack. Now, Commander Brandy, picture this. Excuse me for the difficulties. Now, Commander Brandy, picture this. This one are two citizen volunteer them when Ambazonia Defense Forces soldier them, where they don't stand for fight under the ADF flag for defend Ambazonia and for fight for our liberation. These two soldier them, that way they will give themselves for the Catholic Hospital, St. Mary Soledad Health Center for Bamenda. They become for there as patients them. All of them, they will get treatment. They will be under the care and custody of that hospital until the Cameroon military it come for that hospital. It can remove them outside and execute them. I will play video for Commander Brandy.
Now our brother this. When they go move for inside St. Mary, if you see how now see plaster for his skin. And me then go move and
So this one na Commander Brandy. Una fit see for belle na plaster that it be there for that hospital for St. Mary Hospital, St. Mary Soledad Health Center for inside Bamenda. It be receive treatment. It be under the care of the hospital. Somehow the Cameroon military they raid that particular location. They remove these two soldiers them, and yesterday after the IED unit for the ADF it be strike the Cameroon military, destroy one of the armored car, killing a colonel when a Betty boy for inside the armored car. The Cameroon military he go for their base, he go bring out these two valiant soldiers them, Ambazonian hero them, then bring them for Tarinkun, they execute them publicly. They execute them publicly. That one a war crime, it not be acceptable, not be acceptable conduct. After they execute them, they leave abandon their body them for road. Their body they then be retrieved back from the scene. The Catholic Hospital for over 72 hours since the Cameroon military it raid that hospital, it remove our soldiers and for they never make a statement. The Catholic Church they never make a statement. It is not acceptable. These boys, these soldiers were patient during the time of their adoption from that hospital. The hospital have a direct responsibility. Their silence will be interpreted as comparable to the actions of the Cameroon military and will be treated as agents of Cameroon military operations in Bamenda. If the Catholic Church, St. Mary Hospital, do not come out to account for these patients that were in their care, they don't come out to tell the Ambazonian people and the international community what happened, that soldiers, patients who were in their care ended up in Cameroon military camps in Bamenda airport and later on were publicly executed, then we will have to shut down St. Mary Hospital. We will have to take action against the Catholic Church and against the hospital for being culpable for actions which are crimes against humanity and war crimes. If the Catholic Church have nothing to do with the Cameroon military operation that led to the arrest of two of their patients, if they did not call the Cameroon military, if they did not participate to facilitate transfer of these two soldiers that were clearly, we have evidence that were there in St. Mary Hospital. As a matter of fact, I talked to both of them with video calls. And we had even reached out to their family to inform them about their situation. If the Catholic Church do not take the responsibility to come out publicly and account for these patients that were in their care, they will be culpable for crimes against humanity and activity of Cameroon military on the ground. And we will have to take action to shut down that facility and to treat them as part of an extension of Cameroon military operations in Ambazonia. This is a serious warning, and we expect the Catholic Church, St. Mary Hospital, to respond within 24 hours. The chairman of the War Council, the defense chief, Benedict Kwa, have made the same statement. I'm coming to reiterate that statement. These were patients who were in the care of the Catholic Hospital, St. Mary Soledad Health Center. They have the responsibility to account for their patients and to inform the Ambazonian people what happened with these two patients that were in their care, and they have ended up on the streets in Tarinkun, executed in broad daylight by the Cameroon military. Fellow Ambazonians, the IED attack where our forces then carry them out for Bamenda for Tarinkun. As soon as see our forces they don't be able to go visit the scene. Some body parts and for the Cameroon military they be still lie around. I think our civilian, our intelligence unit be don't go for they get some video them for share and would do the evidence them for what it happen around the attack. I go give una video footages for part of the armored vehicle. The armored vehicle currently be packed for Bengui Park. La Republic dan tour and good keeper for Bengui Park for day. We will get one of the video footages them eventually. But this one now the aftermath for the attack. Our soldier they don't visit the scene and they found out this one for sure.
The one at the AJ Bamenda Brigade under the leadership of Dr. Choayaba.
So a lot of things that can be picked up around that area where the armored vehicle will be vaporized, it will be completely damaged beyond repair. And we want to thank the IED unit for the Ambazonia Defense Forces Bamenda Brigade for the wonderful job that they do, and they will continue to do the same job. After that IED attack will take place yesterday for inside the Kenner Junction for Mancon along Bengui Road, the Cameroon military, it come for the cowardly instead for come attack our boys the way they wait them, then turn their guns, they turn their anger for the population. This one, it will be a premeditated.
The inhabitants of Bamenda mourned today over the mass burning of houses along the street leading from the hospital roundabout Bamenda to Mbengui, popularly known as the Mbengui Road. The crying over houses which have been ravaged by the Cameroonian military fire is as a consequence of an explosion that occurred on that same stretch on a military armored car, leading to the death of a military general and other military personnel. The explosive is said to have been planted by the Ambazonian fighters. Among the many houses that were set ablaze in the night of December 8, 2021 is the house of one of the Cameroon Baptist Convention pastors, Chefo Ernest of Grace Baptist Church, Mbengui Road. According to Pastor Chefo Ernest, he was divinely spared from dying by the gun as he struggled to rescue his son, who was already in the hands of the military at the verge of receiving a bullet in his head.
One of my sons was sitting on this chair. So as I lied there, he was sitting. And then I was talking with the AD and trying to narrate what is happening, but with a low tune. Yes, the AD was on the way going, so I was narrating now. And then I heard how these boys have taken a child outside here. I don't know that the boy that was sitting with me on this chair is the one that is outside. So he had left the chair here, and when I opened the door, and went outside to take his bicycle. So as he has gone out now to take his bicycle around 7 o'clock, that is when now they caught him. He's about 17 years old, he has this type of head like that. So they caught him, and that is amber. As they caught him now, they were hitting him. Then I got up here now, the two girls that are here, asked them that, who is there? They say it's Roderick. I said, somebody that is sitting here, what is he doing out? They say he has gone out to take the bicycle. So as they break the gun now to shoot him, I opened the window and I shouted, that I'm pastor, is my son. They say, okay, if it is your son, you come out now. As I opened the door, that's how they shot that bullet. They bent down like that. Oh. The bullet now passed. Hey. And then I say, hey, I cried again in French. Say, mon fils, vous tirez pourquoi? They say, sortez, on va vous brûler là-bas. C'est l'amba. Vous avez envoyé des venus nous espionner. And then now his leg was already on the child's head with the gun. I wanted now to lock the door back. They say, if you lock it, they'll burn you people inside. As now, that's when they shot the second one. As I opened out the third one, they shot. Now I fell down on his feet. The one that was already there. We there now like that. I say it's my son now. They draw me. That's when he started hitting my leg with the gun. Oh. Yes, he draw me now up where the son is, and then I slept on top of my son. The one that was there say ton fils. I say yes. He said, vous êtes les Amber. I said, no, I'm a pastor. He said, oui, tu es le pasteur de Amber. Ah. Yeah, so now he hit.
So our population may gonna listen how do one a Baptist pastor how a house be targeted, then shoot you with live bullet for execute you without any investigation, just because the pikin come up outside, they know say a pastor, but yet they open live bullet for kill it. They be also be at the gunpoint for kill the pikin. Another family no be survive, then kill 3 members them for one family, one a teenager, a woman. They done burn over 100 houses them for inside Bamenda. They done destroy lives. They done burn people their property, burn their motor, entire savings of storemen. And this one, it been a premeditated action by the Cameroon military, authorized by Lele Afrique, Pobia, and they are being supported by their enablers who wants to be there to play their chop politics, to take advantage of our people who have refused to submit under Cameroon alien rule. This one will not be in isolation. I will play on an audio from a Cameroon military attaché, where it go by the name Konda Titus. Na military attaché for Cameroon. This one na audio way be saying I'm out.
Now send this message to all the Cameroon military. As I don't always talk, if any person by mistake try for kill Cameroon military for any quartier, wanna enter inside that quarter, teach the people for that quarter a lesson. Next time when they see Amber pass.
So they want a policy for Cameroon military for attack civilians, kill them irrespective of whether they control, whether they be involved for the fighting or not. The Ambazonia Defense Forces and other sister forces, their action them be targeted against legitimate targets, the Cameroon military. No civilian, Southern Cameroonians or La République, they don't be targeted with lethal force or live bullet by our forces on the ground. We act out of self-defense and we fight a legitimate cause for exert our sovereignty for the Southern British Cameroon and Ambazonia, where we on our right under international law. And this is our right as a people for exert our sovereignty and our territorial integrity. We will intensify our actions and want to inform our public. Say this activity, this collective punishment, these crimes against humanity committed by the Cameroon military under the leadership of President Paul Biya, Lele Afrique, Okola Bilai, make them understand that these are crimes that have no justification. No justification at all. It is on Paul Biya. We will not, like the president of the governing council have said, give this war again to another generation. We will fight. We will not submit. We will not bow our head under the pressure of terrorism from Cameroon government, but we will continue to fight and will intensify our activity against them. Make the Cameroon government, Paul Biya and all their enablers need to understand. We are not the Bamilekes and the Basa. When they kill their leaders, Umnyobe, Enyeswani, burn down their villages, chop off head of their civilians, hang them for marketplaces, cause chaos, and then the people then surrender and submit for a country where it be governed by a puppet regime managed from the French embassy. We are not the Bamilekes, we are not the Basas. We are Ambazonians. We know our right and we will not submit to terrorism, we will not submit to bully. We will fight until the last man standing to liberate our homeland. We will fight for justice for all these Southern Cameroonians that have lost their property. We will announce for our people then. We will implement a system of liberation tax. Like the president of the governing council, we done release and for notify una as well. This tax will apply for all Cameroon companies and all people they don't get acquire land when are Bamilekes and La Republic citizens then by the SDO, Mr. Sofo, where we can take government land them for Southern Cameroon government. will be designated as government land being used only for lease, sell them for Bamileke people then cheap. Their government provide them economic advantage through loans for their credit union. We have proof that the Cameroon government have provided loans for Bamileke people within our territory to empower them economically over our own citizens. We will tax them, they will pay for the liberation. We will tax all Cameroon multinationals, they will pay for this liberation. And we ask our people then for help for supply with information about their managers and their representatives them within our territory, so that they will take full responsibility for those company them, for them to comply, for pay their liberation tax. We will continue to fight. We will continue to go beyond using of IEDs, carry out raid for make sure so we go boot out the last remaining Cameroon military will be occupying sovereign Amazonian territory. Once again, I send out that message for Catholic Church, and I reiterate for them. So they need to come out within 72 hours for make a statement about the two patients and when the Amazonian Defense Forces, the way they become for the hospital under their care, they will be picked up by the Cameroon military, they will be publicly executed for Ntarinkun, and the Catholic Church have not said a single word about it. They are responsible and they are accountable for patients who put their life in their hands. God bless you.